Welcome to Bedtime Stories. A flutter of wings in the verdant canopy. The morning sun peeked through the lush, verdant canopy of the ancient forest, casting a warm glow upon the treetops and the myriad of creatures that called this woodland home. High up in the branches of a towering oak tree, a family of songbirds stirred from their slumber, their soft chirps echoing through the still air. The father bird, a vibrant male with brilliant blue plumage, opened his eyes and gazed lovingly at his mate, a delicate female with striking crimson feathers. Beside them, huddled in a cozy nest woven from twigs and moss, were their 3 hatchlings, 2 little boys and a girl, their downy feathers just beginning to take shape. The male bird, whose name was Azure, nuzzled his mate, Scarlet, gently rousing her from her sleep. "Good morning, my love," he sang softly. "It's time to greet the new day." Scarlet blinked her large, dark eyes and let out a contented trill. "And what a glorious day it is," she replied, gazing out at the sun-dappled leaves. She then turned her attention to their offspring, tenderly running her beak through their feathers to ensure they were warm and comfortable. The hatchlings stirred and opened their mouths hungrily, chirping for their morning meal. Azure took flight, soaring gracefully from the nest in search of tasty insects and berries to bring back to his family. Scarlet remained behind, keeping a watchful eye over her brood as they waited patiently for their father's return. After a short while, Azure reappeared with his beak full of succulent morsels. He landed lightly in the nest and began to feed his young ones, carefully dispensing the food to each of them in turn. The hatchlings eagerly gobbled up the offerings, their tiny bodies trembling with excitement. Once they had been properly nourished, the family set about their daily activities. Azure and Scarlet took turns teaching their offspring valuable survival skills, guiding them as they practiced short flights and hopping from branch to branch. The little birds listened attentively, their eyes bright with wonder and determination. As the hours passed, the forest around them came alive with the bustling energy of the other animal inhabitants. Nearby, a family of squirrels chattered noisily as they darted up and down the trees, gathering nuts and acorns for the winter. A group of curious rabbits emerged from their burrows, their long ears twitching as they sniffed the air. And high overhead, a majestic hawk soared on the gentle currents, surveying the land below with its keen, sharp gaze. Through it all, the bird family continued their gentle routine, basking in the tranquility of their secluded treetop home. Azure and Scarlet would occasionally break away to gather more food or materials for their nest, but they always returned quickly, eager to spend time with their precious offspring. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink, the hatchlings grew restless, their chirps becoming more insistent. Sensing their hunger, Azure and Scarlet sprang into action, taking flight to search for the last meal of the day. When they returned, their beaks overflowing with juicy berries and fresh insects, the little birds eagerly accepted the offering, their small bodies trembling with delight. After the final feeding, the family settled in for the night, snuggling close together in the cozy nest. Azure and Scarlet took turns keeping watch, ensuring that their brood remained safe and secure as they drifted off to sleep. Once the hatchlings had succumbed to their slumber, the parents allowed themselves to relax, nuzzling one another affectionately. "They're growing so quickly," Scarlet whispered, gazing at their sleeping children with a mixture of pride and wistfulness. "Soon, they'll be ready to spread their wings and explore the world beyond our little home." Azure nodded, his expression somber. "I know," he replied, his voice soft. "But for now, let us cherish these precious moments we have together. Before long, they'll be out on their own, and we'll miss their sweet songs and playful antics." Scarlet nestled closer to her mate, taking comfort in his warmth and the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. "We'll always be here for them, no matter how far they fly," she murmured, closing her eyes. "This will always be their home and ours." With that, the pair drifted off to sleep, their feathers intertwined and their minds at peace, surrounded by the tranquil sounds of the forest at night. The following days passed in a similar fashion as the bird family continued to thrive in their lush, verdant sanctuary. Azure and Scarlet tended to their offspring with unwavering devotion, teaching them the skills they would need to survive in the wild. The hatchlings, in turn, grew stronger and more confident with each passing day, their feathers becoming more vibrant and their flight becoming steadier. One particular afternoon, as the sun shone brightly through the canopy, the little birds decided to venture out of the nest for a more extended exploration. With their parents leading the way, they hopped from branch to branch, taking in the sights and sounds of the bustling forest. The hatchlings marveled at the towering trees, the fluttering butterflies, and the scurrying woodland creatures, their eyes wide with wonder. At one point, they came across a sparkling stream, its waters dancing and gurgling over the smooth stones. The little birds dipped their beaks in the refreshing liquid, taking long, satisfying drinks. Azure and Scarlet watched proudly as their offspring discovered the joys of this new environment, their hearts swelling with love and adoration. As the day wore on, the family continued their journey, visiting various nooks and crannies of the forest. They encountered a family of rabbits munching on tender greens, a colony of industrious ants hauling bits of leaves and twigs, and a graceful doe and her fawn grazing peacefully in a small clearing. Throughout it all, the hatchlings remained captivated, their curiosity insatiable. They hopped and fluttered, chirping excitedly as they explored every inch of their vibrant, verdant world. Azure and Scarlet remained close by, ready to offer guidance and comfort whenever their young ones needed it. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the treetops, the bird family reluctantly turned back towards their nest. The hatchlings were visibly tired, their small bodies drooping with exhaustion, but their faces were alight with joy and wonder, a testament to the incredible adventure they had just experienced. Once they had returned to the safety of their cozy home, Azure and Scarlet settled their offspring into the nest, gently tucking them in and smoothing their feathers. The little birds snuggled close together, their eyes already beginning to flutter closed. "You all did so well today," Scarlet whispered, nuzzling each of them in turn. "We're so proud of how brave and curious you've become." Azure nodded in agreement, his deep blue feathers shimmering in the fading light. "Yes, my darlings, you are growing stronger and more resilient with each passing day. Soon, you'll be ready to spread your wings and explore the world on your own." The hatchlings let out soft, contented trills, their tiny bodies relaxing as they drifted off to sleep. Azure and Scarlet watched over them, their hearts swelling with love and pride. They knew that the time would come when their children would leave the nest, but for now, they were content to cherish these precious moments, savoring the joy and wonder of raising their family in this magnificent forest. As the days turned into weeks, the hatchlings continued to grow and thrive. They practiced their flight skills, venturing farther and farther from the nest, always returning to the comforting embrace of their parents. Azure and Scarlet marveled at their rapid development, amazed at how quickly their offspring were maturing. One day, as the family was foraging for food, they encountered a group of boisterous young birds from a neighboring territory. The hatchlings, now nearly fully fledged, were immediately intrigued by the newcomers, their eyes wide with curiosity. Azure and Scarlet watched nervously as their children approached the other birds, unsure of how the interaction would unfold. But to their relief, the young birds seemed friendly and welcoming, chattering excitedly as they introduced themselves. Over the next few days, the hatchlings began spending more and more time with their new companions, exploring the forest together and learning from one another. As the hatchlings spent more time with the other young birds, Azure and Scarlet noticed a change in their offspring. They became more independent, venturing farther from the nest and engaging in more self-directed play and exploration. While the parents felt a bittersweet pang at this development, they recognized it as a natural and necessary part of their children's maturation. One morning, as Azure and Scarlet were tending to the nest, their oldest hatchling, a vibrant male with feathers that shimmered like emeralds, approached them tentatively. "Mother, father," he said, his voice steady but tinged with emotion, "I think it's time for me to leave the nest and join the others on their adventures." Scarlet felt her heart swell with pride and sorrow. "We know, my dear," she replied softly, gently running her beak through his feathers. "You've grown into such a strong, courageous young bird. We will miss you dearly, but we understand that it's time for you to spread your wings and explore the world beyond our home." Azure nodded, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Your siblings will be ready to leave soon as well," he said. "But no matter how far you fly, this will always be your safe haven, and we will always be here to welcome you back." The young bird nuzzled his parents affectionately, his own eyes shining with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Thank you, Mother and Father, for everything you've done for us," he murmured. "I'll never forget the lessons you've taught me, or the love and care you've showered upon us." With one final, lingering embrace, the hatchling took to the skies, his emerald wings beating powerfully as he soared away to join his new friends. Azure and Scarlet watched until he disappeared into the verdant canopy, their hearts heavy, but filled with a profound sense of pride and gratitude. In the days that followed, the remaining hatchlings also spread their wings and left the nest, each one venturing out into the world with the same mix of excitement and uncertainty. Azure and Scarlet witnessed their departures with bittersweet smiles, their own lives forever changed by the remarkable journey of raising their beloved family. Yet, even as their children flew away, the parents knew that the bond they had forged would never be broken. Whenever they looked out at the vibrant, verdant forest, they would see the flashes of color and the joyful songs of their offspring, a testament to the enduring power of love and the circle of life. And so, Azure and Scarlet settled back into their now empty nest, their hearts full of memories, and their thoughts turned towards the future. They knew that their family would continue to grow and thrive, and that they would always be there to welcome their children back, no matter where their adventures might take them. In the end, the flutter of wings in the verdant canopy had been a story of love, growth, and the bittersweet passing of time. A timeless tale that echoed through the very heart of the ancient forest. Rest well, wake up refreshed for a brand new day. Good night and sweet dreams.